1 minute. Okay, I want to welcome everybody to the ISM trade room. And welcome everybody on YouTube who's streaming. Welcome to the 10-Minute Trades Trade Room. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director at 10-Minute Trades. Please remember that all trades we discuss for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures, so trade carefully. All right, so the market's opening. Just watching the NQ. I'm going to keep an eye on it for most of the day just to see what the volatility is as we get close to Google's earnings this afternoon. You know, I'm certainly hoping that the markets aren't quite as crazy as they were last week in terms of volatility. So in the old days, I used to pay a lot more attention to the report at 9:45, manufacturing PMI. I'm pretty much letting that report go for a while. It hasn't been having much of an impact, been completely inconsistent for years. I'm just tired of looking at it. I just don't feel like wasting my time. The only thing I'm going to do, though, I want to set up a trade using gold. I just want to see if a certain bracket size, how much risk there is in using certain bracket size. That's all. That's the only interest that I have in the report. I don't feel that the report is worth trading. It's not that it can't move. It's that when it does move, it doesn't move in a reliable, consistent manner. So it is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. I mean, it's a report. Literally, I've been watching it for years. We've traded it a little bit, not traded it. I've spent enough time on it. I can't do it anymore. All right, give me a second here. So the report we're going to concentrate on is ISM manufacturing. Institute of Supply Management is what that ISM stands for. And it's a report that does move the market. It had absolutely struggled when the world crisis began. As many people know, it used to be a prime trade, which was our precursor to family money trades. And it's been working better. It has been working better. If you look at the DMM, excuse me, I've got a throat this morning. I complain every webinar, don't I? My throat's killing me. It's not killing me. It just feels weird. The DMM on ISM manufacturing. Hang on, I'm going to call Joe Rogan. Hold on a second. ISM manufacturing in January had a decent little trade. I mean, you can look and go back until August. You've got 24 ticks, 29 ticks in September, 29 ticks in October. So it's not moving gigantic, but at least it's moving, okay? At least it's moving, and it's moving in a reasonable direction. In other words, it's not a total whipsaw, problematic trade. It's been behaving better. I have an alternative setup. If the breakout isn't working, we have done a lot of testing using the trap trade. Now, today, there is a monkey in the room. There's an elephant in the room. There's a monkey in my office, but there's an elephant in the trading room. The elephant in the trading room is the JOLTS report. Prime trade should be the ones you take that aren't the family money account. I do take almost all the prime trades, Mark. And honestly, ISM, look at the DMM. It's been not trading too badly. So let's look at a couple of videos. But I'm going to set up a small test trade using a bracket of 6 for final manufacturing at 9:45. Keep in mind, this trade is nothing but a bracket survival test. I like the sound of that. That could be a good TV show. The bracket survival test, starring legal. No. So I'm going to use a target of 5 ticks, a target of 4 ticks, a target of 10 ticks, a stop of 12 ticks. But it's the bracket of 6 that I'm curious about. I want to see if my bracket will survive the market volatility. You know, the market's not too terrible on gold this morning so far that I can see. So I'm going to do a 58, 9:44:58, 2 seconds before the report. And I'm not trading it live. I'm saying it again. This is not a report that I'm trading money anymore. I'm not even that interested in watching it anymore. Last month, it didn't fill on gold. It's not a very impactful report. The point is, it's a report that used to sometimes move the market, but it can maybe give me an idea how our bracket's looking for ISM. That's my reason for doing this, not because I want to trade the report. Okay, so I don't care what the results are. I just want to see if it's safe to put a bracket on 2 seconds before the news. That's all I'm doing. Okay, and then we'll talk a little bit more about ISM. And no harm in watching the NQ. I would not, in these markets, I probably wouldn't have any interest in trading the NQ, except on very specialized reports. The NQ is, it's just like a, what's a good, it's like a crazy person. That's all. It's just like a crazy person. Nothing else you can say. Let's look at some ISM trades. So our last ISM trade was in February 1st. You know, I'm losing my mind. Hold on. It's January 4th. Forgive me. January 4th. Let me find that. I hope I have that one. I don't know what I was thinking. So you could see the markets are volatile because they just opened. And that's another significant challenge with 9:45 trades with very volatile markets. Now, I want to say hello to all the folks that are watching us on YouTube. If you'd be kind enough, give us a couple of likes. If you're out there, like our video, our stream, because, you know, you get to watch us trade live. And if you want to join us for earnings trades later, you can sign up at www.tradeearningsnow.com. And I left out the now. Okay, it's tradeearningsnow.com. Okay. And there's 2 earning trades left this week. At the moment, we've got Google today, Amazon Thursday. All right, so let's see what we got going here. I'm looking to see if I have January's ISM pulled up. And I do. Okay. So January's report. I'm looking to see if I can tell what I used as the setup. Bracket of 6, good. Okay. Pretty sure I used the standard DMM for the report last month. And And we were doing some ES testing also on this report. So the news gets released at 10. And very nice burst up, but you could see it was a little bit low volume. So it fills the first target on that, but it's challenged. Didn't quite get to the second target. That was a very fast burst and a very quick reversal, which still lends me to think that there is a good possibility this trade, we should still do some significant testing on the trap. But you can see the trap could be challenged because the price is staying up. Okay, so if you don't take your profit on a trap really fast, well, you know what, I want to do the testing. I want to do the testing. 1 month does not make a bad trap trade. So January had a solid move, fast move. Yes, Derek, earnings, prosperity people, absolutely. I didn't mean to scare people in the podcast yesterday by saying we are not including earnings. It's for new people that aren't members. So I didn't mean to scare people yesterday. If you signed up for prosperity, we promised you earnings. We would never take away something we promise. Okay? So I didn't mean to, I confused it, but I should have just said, I really didn't, I guess I wasn't clear. It's new people. It's new people. Fred. Yeah. So let's watch. Fred, please send me an email at help@10minutetrades.com just so I don't forget. Good morning, Jody. Although, hey, Fred, we're going to email 2 or 3 more times today, most probably, but I'm happy to send it. So, all right, we're watching the 945. I just want to see what happens with the bracket. Okay. Not so concerned about the behavior of the report. We know the NQ is going to be volatile this time of the day. I mean, sheesh. The NQ was pretty flat when we got here. These markets are on steroids. Still. So it just means, you know, if you're a discretionary trader, you might be, you better, I guess you're using awfully big stops, right? If you're trading the NQ. Even the ES, people are telling me that the NQ setups are working great on the ES, meaning you need lots of size, lots of big targets and big stops to survive because the markets are so volatile. It's challenging. It's definitely challenging for us because we have very specific bracket sizes, and in many cases they need to be adjusted. So I'm curious, I'm putting this bracket on 2 seconds before the news comes out, okay, at 9:45. And my main interest is, do we get filled early or do we get filled at the right time, you know, before the news? Do we get filled after the news? Forgive me. So I just using a 6 bracket, and it'll show up 2 seconds before the 9:45 report. So there's the bracket. The news is out. So the bracket was okay size-wise, and not much move, and it was very similar expectations to the result. They were expecting 55. They got 55.5. Like I said, I'm not judging the move, although I am, if you know what I mean. But this is why I'm not that haven't been that interested in the report. It hasn't, look, it's not going the direction I would have expected either, okay? There is a trend, a small trend in gold, but it was to the upside. It's been pulling back. Normally when news is good, you expect to see gold go to the downside, but that doesn't hold water anymore. That's the truth. It doesn't hold water. It looks like it wants to, I was going to say, it looks like it wants to fill my first target, but I don't want to waste time on this trade. Even if it worked today, it's inconsistent, okay? And look, maybe at some point I'll do something else with it. I mean, I have an idea that I think we could add this trade. I have an idea for a bunch of trades that we can add. So it's going to take a little bit of work. All right, so I'm going to reset my account. Now the NQ is literally, it's trending, you know, so now you have normal behavior. Are you, after it made new lows, are you just trending, doing normal behavior, have a slight pullback, continuation? You understand what I'm saying? This is not a great time to trade news because you're dealing with market open also. So that's something you have to be aware of. All right. So, but as we get closer to 10, we should get a little bit more normal market. Sometimes, Derek, maybe, no harm in that, Derek, no harm in that. If I don't like the way a trade's working out, you can close it early. Absolutely. The way to close it early is to get your orders combined so that they're all just one order and try to move your stop into the price. If you hit the close button, you get a very bad fill, okay? So I would try not to hit the close button. Let me set up for ISM. Okay, and let me record ISM. So look, we don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, we never know what's going to happen. ISM is a report the market traditionally has watched. And it has a tradition over the years of having a decent move. So we could get a decent move out of ISM. Manufacturing. The combine button is always on the screen when the trade is enabled. When you take the trade off, the buttons go away because they're part of the strategy. Because there's nothing to combine if you're not in a trade. Okay. Now, if you're trading, that's another nice thing though about using our software. If you're trading discretionary, because you can use our software and you have those features. It's great. I love them. So the DMM calls for a bracket of 6. So I'm thinking about that because the elephant in the room is JOLTS. Okay. We have a JOLTS report. So I'm going to use a slightly bigger target also. I'm going to leave my risk on 10. My entry time is 9:59:59. $9:59:59. So I've got two targets of 8 and 22. Bracket is 6. And let's look and see what we think about safety. We're going to check our time sync. So I'm a little bit aggravated over Canada. I knew the market was, I felt that the market was going to move up. If we would have just stayed in that darn trade, it missed our stop by 1 tick, I believe, and had a really nice move up. But you would have had to stay in the trade for 10 minutes. And people think I can't do that, but I can. That's the truth. I don't mind staying in trades. Prove it. Steve, what do you mean you lost the connection? So there's volatility in gold. JOLTS, they're rating JOLTS a 3. I don't know that I rate JOLTS quite as high as the ISM in impact, because we try to trade the JOLTS report by itself. It's not that meaningful a trade when it trades by itself. It's harder. We've tried traps, and historically there is no ISM manufacturing that I've ever seen that traded with JOLTS. So I don't really have a way to test what's going to happen, previous behavior with JOLTS in the game. So I wanted to show you one more. So I guess what I'm saying is our reaction, what we want, what will help us? What will help us make things work better will definitely be if we get both reports to agree. Okay? That'll be a bonus. If both reports agree. If they differ dramatically, it could hurt our trade. Okay? Could. Let's look at December's ISM. I think December's ISM was a loser. Yeah, December was a whipsaw. Okay. And we were testing the trap. I've been testing the trap on ISM. So December, it dropped down and popped up, unfortunately. Excuse me. And you had almost completely matching news on the main report, the main part of the news. It was almost completely matching. And then let's look at November. In November, you can see I moved my chart by accident. So these reports are kind of showing struggling with liquidity. They're struggling with liquidity. Okay. So the important data is ISM manufacturing PMI. Obviously, it's the name of the report. Wow, there's a lot of people here. So I want to thank everybody for coming. So let me go over my setup one more time quickly. I'll speak it. I'm not going to show it. I'm using a bracket of 6. Targets of 8. I'm using bigger target on my second target. I went up to 22. Stop of 10 and the entry time of 8, 9:59:59. Targets, I'm using targets of 8 and 22. It's possible it could move. We may not. Hopefully liquidity will be better. Orders will fill. And usually this news comes out on time. It's been, like I said, years ago, it's definitely been an impactful trade. It's been a trade that moves a lot. Or it's a trade that moves. I'd say over the past year, a lot is questionable. It hasn't had tick moves over 30. So, you know, maybe my second target is wishful thinking, but JOLTS could give it a jolt if we get agreement. So JOLTS job openings, with all the yakking about people not wanting to work and blah, blah, blah jobs, you'd think there'd be a tremendous amount of openings, right? So I would think there would be more openings than they expect. And then ISM manufacturing, I wouldn't even try to guess what I think that result would be. I would not even guess. I'm just trying to think. Manufacturing in general. I mean, so many things are opening. I don't know. And then there's always the inflation element with reports now. So we've got about 2 minutes to go. And Derek asked a great question. You know, if you're in a trade, you don't like the way it's behaving, would you try to leave early? And the answer is, at times, yes, definitely. Not always, because look at the Canada trade. Unfortunately, you never know when the right time to do that is. Sometimes a trade that's not acting that great starts acting well after a minute. And that's actually what happened to that Canadian trade. It was not acting that great. So you can try to use the news results to help you make those decisions. And then you can also use some of the techniques in the software to help you to exit more quickly. And that's what the combine button does. If you have orders spread out, especially if you have 3 orders, and you know you want to get out of a trade maybe more quickly than it hitting the targets. If you don't think the targets will get hit, that's when the combine button is very useful. So we got about 20 seconds. Gold has a little bit of a trend up. It was trending down at the 9:45 trade. So son of a gun, it hit my first target. Now look at that reversal. I made a few dollars on the trade because it hit my first target and I was doubled up on the target. So I made $50, okay? I could not get my stop moved fast enough to get out of the trade without getting my third target stopped, okay? It didn't get to 22. Now, the news was good. But again, it was almost matching. But JOLTS, there were a lot of jobs available. I don't know if that's good news. Okay. I'm not so sure that's good news. And that might be why the market could be selling. Well, gold likes good news pushes gold down. But you can't deny, look, the trade went up. We made $50 only because we could not get out fast enough to protect the third target. Okay. Let me show you. We'll watch the video. We'll watch the video. I entered at 80, okay, which is here. I had 2 contracts on my first target, and that's what saved me. Okay. Oh, hey, let me tell you something interesting that happened. So I made, yeah, no, it's exactly what I thought. It's exactly what I thought. It entered all targets at 80. Now, what's interesting is this downward move is fascinating. This is obviously the direction of the trade. We got lucky in that we got a burst and we weren't greedy on the first 2 targets, the first target. So it made $160 on the first target, but then it lost 110 on the third target, only allowing me a $50 profit. Now, gold is going to test that low. I'm not going to chase it here. Look at how difficult discretionary trading is, though. You know, now it's at the open there. And I was thinking gold would test the low. The second I said it, it did a complete about face, like an instant about face, right? It's incredible, incredible. But we went from down $85 on Canada to down 35. So we made 50 on the trade. I'll show you the video in a second. I just wanted to watch the price action for a minute or two. And we could look at the NQ. I wasn't watching the NQ. I don't normally trade the NQ at 10 o'clock. Okay. Now my gold testing the low trade would not be working. Okay, because you would have gotten in, you know, probably down at the bottom of the candle, and you'd be stopped out most probably. But see now, because of the volatility in these markets, you have to use like a 40 tick stop if you're trading gold in a discretionary. I mean, if you trade 10 and 15 tick stops, you're just going to give all your money to the market, right? You're going to give all your money to the market. Chantal, the darn problem with the NQ and ES moving is they're generally inconsistent at 10 o'clock on 10 o'clock trades. Chantal, can you tell how much gold slippage there was on this trade? I got filled at 1808.80, 1808.80, 1808.80, 1803.80, sorry, 1803.80. Let me see, did I get long entry 1803.80? The bracket was 6. The bracket was 6. Michael's asking what the slippage was. I don't think it was that terrible. It was a bracket of 6. I got filled at 1803.80. So it's interesting, though. I still think gold will test that low. It's a magnet. It's a magnet. But can you survive the volatility in the index? Now, the markets are not crazy about this news, right? It appears. And it looks like the ES and the NQ had much more manageable, not manageable, but steadier moves than gold. The pink arrow, Chantal, is 1802.30-ish, 1802.40, 1802.40. So I still think gold's going to test 1796.20, but the question is, can you survive that volatility? What are you willing to risk to make? It's about a 30-tick move, a little more than a 30-tick move from here. So it's pretty choppy after the news. Let me take a look at the video. So just one more reminder, anybody on YouTube that wants to join us for our last two earnings rooms, www.tradeearningsnow.com. You can still sign up today and you can make it into the Google room. So let me render this video for ISM. Unfortunately, if we didn't have such a fast reversal, I probably could have gotten positive on the day. But because of that quick reversal, you'll see it in the vid. Watch how fast I couldn't move my stop. And I mean, I wasn't running, if you know what I mean. I didn't expect the reversal quite that quick. So here's the report. We survived our bracket, no problem. It was a normal, look how fast it reversed. So I think I'm not unhappy. Now I'm just looking, my target was 1804.70. So it got to 1805.10, it looks like. Maybe a little bit higher. So very, very quick reversal. Didn't allow me to get my stop. Moved up. You could see I was trying, but it was too late. And even if I would have tried hitting the break-even button, I think it would have been the same, very similar result. Just too quick of a reversal. Yeah, I didn't think there was a lot of slippage. It was not that fast. The trade wasn't that fast. It was fast, but not like monstrous. The reversal was fast. All right, folks. So ES and NQ they had nice moves on that report, but I'm just telling you, 10 o'clock on those indexes, sometimes you'll get a good move and sometimes you just won't. It can go, it can go either way. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So thanks everybody for watching on YouTube as well. If you'd like to give us a like, sign up for the channel also. You know the routine on YouTube, hit the notification bell, sign up for the channel. We stream 3 to 4 times every week, live trades in the trade room. So if you want to see the truth about what we do, you can. No, I don't hate the NQ market. I like trading it on, FOMC, and I like the NQ, CPI. I'd like to trade it more. I'm trying to find safe trades. I'm just finding that there's some safety issues. This especially with the volatility we're seeing. But this report today, it worked. It would have been okay. Okay, Jody. We'll be back at 3:30 for earnings and API. Earnings and API. Okay. So www.tradeearningsnow.com. www.tradeearningsnow.com. All right, folks. We're going out of here. I'll see everybody later. Steve K, thanks for that info. And I'll see everybody later, 3:30 for Google. All right, folks. See you in a bit.